Hello everyone. This episode is mainly for women, but if you're a man, feel free to listen to this episode with open mind. Today we will cover a lot about love, about being the good girl, social expectations, and courage. And I feel like I have so much to tell you about this topic, and yet not really sure where to start. Because if you would look at women, what do you see? Who do you see? When you look at yourself, when you look in the mirror, what do you really see? Do you see an object that has some kind of body? Do you see someone that is there, exists just to please? Do you see someone who is there constantly to give? Do you see someone who exists just to make other people's life easier? Someone who is constantly busy, sometimes someone who is constantly doing things? Who is the woman in the mirror? Who do you see? Or maybe you see a strong, independent, free woman. But even if that's who you see, what does she carry on her shoulders? Who is she really underneath the independent, tough mask? Who did she hide away? Those days, women are very afraid of being vulnerable. We are either tough, yes, we can do it all, we don't need anyone, yeah, we will just accomplish any task. On the other hand, maybe you see someone who doesn't really think about themselves, constantly investing their time and energy into the kids, into the marriage, into the household, running everything for everyone, forgetting completely about herself. What and which woman are you? And if you are the woman who is successful, who is maybe having her own business, maybe she is somehow on a good position, good money, but then at what cost? Of course, she has so much guilt inside her for not spending time with the kids, for not baking with the kids, for not being there with the family, choosing differently. Maybe you're the other woman who is at the house with kids and completely investing her life for the kids. Does that mean she's fully accomplished? Successful? Is she happy? No. Because deep down inside her, there is still a feeling of unmet needs. There is still something inside her that she doesn't really feel anything. She is almost numb. Because she could be so much. And she decided to dedicate her life for her children. Either way, whatever you decided to do with your life, there's always a consequences. There's always feelings attached. There's always things, there's always sacrifices. There's always price to be paid. So right now, I want to ask you, what kind of woman are you? And where are you going? What does it mean to be a free woman? And why do we believe we need to be the good girls? Good girl who always is there for others. Good girl who never speaks about her emotions. Good girl who never is too emotional. Everything is just nice and smooth with her. She never speaks about the truth. She never complains. She just gets on with the life. It is what it is. And we're talking about good enough life? No. We're talking about just enough. Just enough to survive. Just enough love to be, to have. To get the sense of, yes, it's okay. Just enough work. Just enough love. Just enough time together. Enough time. Just enough time for herself. And that's enough for us women to excuse our unmet desires, our unmet dreams, our unmet selves. How many of us has actually suppressed the real self? How many women forgot about who they really are? Because we believe we need to be the good girls. We need to know how to clean. We need to know how to cook. We need to know how to look after the kids. We need to look after the house, the marriage. Earn. We need to do everything. But who are you when you are doing this? Good girls, golden children. Why the society needs them? Why only good girls are acceptable to fit the norm? Because they're no troublemakers. Because they don't have their own opinions. Because they're not uncomfortable. Because they're not difficult. And what happens if a woman shows up and be strong, independent, successful? It's okay, but not too okay. Like, especially amongst other women. Strong, independent, successful women are not really welcomed in the society. Why? Because people don't know what to do with them. Because people don't know how to act around them. They're too strong. They're too wise, too successful. Successful women, independent women, strong women, at the same time, kind and warm, they are treated with hesitant, with hostile. People don't know whether to trust them. They don't know how to act and be around them. People don't see them. And if I were to ask you, women, could you imagine for you to be authentic with yourself? Being honest, truthful, speaking your truth, setting boundaries without guilt, not dedicating all of you to somebody else. Have some just for yourself and be yourself, enjoying that. saying what you don't like, saying what you do like. Could you even imagine that kind of life? So many of women, so many of us are so afraid to be authentic, to be whole, to be honest, to be visible. Why? Oh, good girls are not visible. They're just there in the shadow, part of furniture in the room. They're just that great and just enough. Not too loud, not too visible, not too emotional, not too honest. Presenting herself well. So people will like what they see. But she needs to remember, she cannot make people uncomfortable. She just needs to be. Not too much, not too little. Just the right amount. So everyone can be comfortable. How many of you women are living comfortable, just enough life? How many of you feels just enough? Just enough not to want more? Just enough not so you won't ask for more? And now ask yourself, is that what you actually want? I'm not asking you to change. I'm asking you to connect with yourself. Because being authentic, being honest, being truthful requires courage. Courage, because as I said, it's not always acceptable when we see women who are strong, independent, who are confident in themselves, who they like themselves. We think they're bad women. We judge them. We don't like them. We don't understand them. We think they're full of themselves. No. Without even knowing. If we think someone is better looking, more successful, having better life, we hesitate them. We don't like that. We look at them with hostile. We judge, criticize, and avoid. Why? Because that woman really shows you she's the mirror to your own desires. And I'm not a fan of comparing. And I don't encourage you to compare yourself. What I really encourage you is to show you how to connect with yourself. Dive inside yourself and ask, why am I so judgmental of this woman? What does she has that I maybe would like to have? This is your shadow work. This is part of women that we need to integrate. We need to come together and start liking each other. Maybe that would be the great start. Because women are so hostile to each other. We see every woman as a competitor. And all of us, it's the same for everyone, for every woman. We judge how they look, how they speak, how they are in their life, their career, everything. If the woman that we see makes us uncomfortable, we won't accept her. We won't. But what happens if a man makes us uncomfortable? What do we do? Do we behave the same way? No. Usually, what women do if a man makes her uncomfortable, she plays this silly, brainless creature just to please them. She laughs, she's out loud, she's all good fun. Is that authentic? Is that who you are? No. Because you are wise. You have wisdom. But you just disconnected from it. You're disconnected from yourself. In our childhood, how many of us had to suppress our emotions just to please parents? How many times in your life you were in a situation where being visible was just not safe? Where you had to please your parents and make them and keep them happy, acting certain ways so they won't get mad. So if they won't get mad, then you won't be in trouble. Everyone is happy. How many times in your childhood you were growing up with this belief that you had to please your parents, make them happy. And if something went wrong, if they had an argument, if they had a fight, if something went just wrong, you straight away you started to blame yourself. Blaming yourself for their unhappiness, feeling responsible for their unhappiness. Your siblings, how many times were you trying to protect them because you felt so responsible for them and your parents? They didn't do it. This is how we learn to be the good girls. This is how we learn to scan the environment and exactly know where to act and what to do and how to be and what to feel, what to suppress. In those situations, you constantly had to suppress your own emotions. You had to suppress your own desires, your wants. Why? Because you had to survive it. You learned to be the good girl, the perfect fit, the good fit. How many times have you heard from your mom or your grandmother to act certain ways because you have to be the good material for a wife? How many times you heard men saying women are wifey material or not? What is that? How many times you felt objectified? Not only by men, but also by women. How many times you have objectified yourself? How many times you have rejected yourself for who you actually are, the way you look, the way you dress, the way you speak. We are so afraid of being rejected, But the only one person in our adulthood who really constantly, every single day rejects us is actually ourselves. You reject yourself every single day. So you can be just a good girl. Not too much, not too little. Just the perfect amount, so everyone is comfortable. Happiness? What are you on about? Is happiness even a real thing? Does it even exist? It's not a fairy tale, Sylvia. Just get over it. How many of you have sacrificed your own self, your own happiness, your own authentic self for safety? Just to have some kind of sense of belonging. Just to be and know that somewhere someone accepts you. Even though if it's not full you, even though it's just not all of you who you are, but just a little bit, so it's comfortable for them, so that the little bit is enough for them to be accepted, and then you're just that is just enough. We forgot how to be, how to feel, how to speak. We forgot about our freedom. We forgot about our lives. We're constantly managing. How many women, how many of you forget to be the woman, to be in the feminine energy and enjoying it? No, women are so busy organizing, planning, managing everything. And when someone gives them a compliment, they're like, what do you want? You know, we don't trust. We don't trust men, we don't trust women, we don't trust ourselves, we don't trust anyone. Immediately when someone tries to be nice to us, we believe constantly, oh, they want something, don't trust them. Why? Because you're not nice to yourself. So if you are not nice to yourself, how can you accept something nice from somebody else? Women are so angry those days. Throwing tantrums and being just this angry, tense person who constantly feel like they have to do things and be things and just constantly tense. So that has nothing to do with feminine. Feminine is about receiving, about being, experiencing, having ideas, creativity. No, women become so logical. Everything is just a task. Everything is just things that needs to be accomplished and done. And then time for a relax? What you on about? The work never finishes. The household, the work, the kids, the homework, the husband, the washing, everything. Garden, a dog. It never ends. And then you're talking about being feminine. What are you on about? I don't have time to be feminine. I have things to do. It's great for you. You can, not me. Whose life is this? Who decides really about your life. Forget about all the things that you believe you have to be or to do. Forget about that. For a second, who really rules your life? Who wants your life? Who is in charge? Oh, my head. I know I need to do this, I need to be this, I need to... There's things to be done, and if I won't do it, no one else will do it. And if they do it, it won't be as good enough, so I better do it myself. So I don't have to correct them. Oh, it's just quicker when I do it myself. It's fine, I don't need to ask for help. Sure, they're so busy, I don't need it. I do it myself. And then by the time you actually done your whole tasks, you're exhausted. You don't even have time to think what you feel. Never mind think what you actually think. Because you're already thinking about the next day, about the next task, the next list. Oh, that's what you're doing. Today, now, no time. No time for this princess stuff. We forgot about ourselves because that's what society put us into us. They wanted us to forget about ourselves so we can be comfortable for them. It's never about you. Never. It's always about somebody else. And if you, woman, will not give yourself the permission to be and to live your life the way you do want it, no one else will do that for you. If you want to respect your boundaries, if you want to respect yourself, if you want to respect your emotions, no one else ever will do that for you. You have to show up first. You have to do it first. No one else ever will do it for you. If you want to be respected, if you want to have, to be, to feel a little bit more, if you want to be just more alive, you have to make this happen. You have to make the first step. No one else. It's scary. I get this. It is. I've been there also. It's time to wake up this rebellion aspect of you. And when I say rebellion, it doesn't have to be upside down your whole life and you're going to leave your family and your kids and everything like a dog. No, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You could start from giving yourself 15 minutes for a nice, warm cup of tea or cup of hot chocolate or coffee, whatever you like. And sit and do nothing. And do not think about the dishes. Do not think about the dinner. Do not think about the boss. Do not think about what else you have to do. Share your task with your partner. If the kids are older, give them some responsibilities as well. It's very healthy for kids to have responsibilities. Share. Don't think that you always have to do everything for everybody. Create some time. Make some time for yourself. Stop talking so negatively about yourself or thinking so negatively about yourself. Stop judging constantly your body and how you look. When was the last time you actually gave yourself a compliment? When was the last time you felt loved by yourself? Stop trying to be all the time the good girl, the perfect woman. No. Set a boundary without guilt. These are your first steps to become independent and strong woman. But once you become that, once you're starting to become more whole, you will realize that people will start to tell you, you're weird. Oh, you have changed. What's wrong with you? Like, you're so difficult now. People won't like to see that you have changed. Because that means they will no longer manipulate you. They won't be able to tell you what to do. They won't be able to put their own expectations onto you. They won't walk over you anymore. And that's what they won't like. They won't be able to use you anymore. And that's what happens. And this is why we women, we really need to stand together and trying to find more compassion for each other. Because the minute a woman finds the courage to be herself, to give herself a voice, the minute she starts to become visible and authentic, other women are judging her and guilt-tripping her back to where she was. Because where she is now, it's not really fitable. She doesn't really fit anymore. We don't trust her anymore. We don't know what to expect. I don't know what she says. We better not ask her for her opinion because, well, God knows what she gives us. And it makes us uncomfortable. We don't want that. We don't want opinion from someone who feels she can say whatever she wants. She needs to think what we need to think. And if she doesn't do that, you step away. We don't want that. So, change itself is scary. It scares the life out of us. Makes us very uncomfortable. It's messy, it's chaotic, it's unpredictable. It's like, oh my God, when this will end. And then along the line, you meet people that are meant to love you, be there for you, supporting you, and it's all great. The minute they realize they can't manipulate you anymore, the minute they realize you're becoming too strong in your opinions, too visible, no, we don't need you anymore. And that's where the rejection happens. And that's where the huge trigger of your childhood trauma comes. Back to rejection, back to abandonment, back to betrayal, back to the feeling of not being good enough, back to the feeling of not feeling lovable, back to square one. This is why you need your courage to stay and be yourself and not to betray yourself anymore, because the price you're going to pay is way too high if now you would go back, because you would never come out of that cage anymore. When you stay, those people who never meant to be for you, they will go. But that only means more people, like-minded people, people who really respect you, will come to your life. But this will take time. And this will be a huge test. It's a difficult test. I know. I'm in it. It's like people can accept you as much as you fit in. The more you can't be, they want you to success, yes, they will support you. The minute you do success, the minute you have huge success, they're like, no, that's too much. Like, what are you doing? Like, whoa, calm down. Like, oh, that's too much. No, never mind. And they walk away. You want something? Yes, go for it. Go for that holiday. Yes, it's amazing. Yeah. What do you mean you're going for 3 times a day, 3 times a year? Or that's too much. Yes, you go for that. Go and meet that guy. Go on that date. Amazing. Yes. Oh, it wasn't this one. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, go again. And what do you mean you're going on the 5th date? Isn't that a little bit too much now? Like, calm down. Do you see how many invisible, unspoken restrictions we're actually holding on ourselves, in our minds? We can't just speak and go there fully. No, because we always need to remember to be just enough. We're not talking about good enough, just enough. Being a woman is a huge privilege. But with that privilege, there's a price. Price of courage. Price of holding. Price of coming back. Be the motor of everything. Trying to be and have the balance. And I don't ever want to underestimate men. They're amazing, and I have great time for men. But this episode, it was mainly for women. Women forget how to be a woman. Strong. Not the good girls, not the perfect fit. To be bold, to speak, to be independent, wise, but at the same time kind, compassionate, full of love, knowing how to receive, knowing how to give, know how to listen. Not only be the givers. There's so many women that actually does the givers. No. That's not full picture. That's not whole. There is so much more to receive as well. But you need to give yourself permission to receive. You need to allow yourself to be authentic, to have the courage to love. That's another aspect. When we think about love, it's only romantic and it needs to be in certain ways. Yes. And love for the kids. And of course you love your family and maybe friends, but that's it. Loving yourself? No, what you on about? Don't be crazy. Loving people you work with? Oh, are you having an affair? Excuse me? Loving life? Loving birds? Your dog? Oh, she's going nuts. What do you mean you love your life? Are you just full of it? Are you this full of yourself? Constant judgment, constant expectations. When will you say enough is enough? When will you allow yourself to be free woman? Not to please everybody else, but just to be for yourself. To feel yourself. To feel, it's also courage. Because when you feel, you connect with yourself. When you feel, it's not about masking. We women are the masters of masking everything and pretending and avoiding. But we mask. We mask our feelings. We mask ourselves. We mask our faces. We mask our desires. We mask orgasms. We mask everything just to feel that we fit. Maybe it's time that you will allow yourself to fit with yourself, not with everybody else. Maybe you just need to start from yourself and ask yourself where you no longer want to pretend that you're okay even though when you're not. Where in your life, in what aspect of your life you're done pretending that everything is okay, that everything is working out, that everything is making you happy and you have everything what you want. Please ask yourself and make just one little change. Where in your life are you done pretending? Because when you're done pretending, you're welcoming authenticity. You're welcoming the truth, your truth. Thank you very much for listening. And I see you in the next episode. I send you loads of love, loads of compassion. And I hope it touched your heart. I hope this video will help you somehow connect with yourself, with your true self. And maybe look at yourself in the mirror through compassion and kindness. You deserve that. You do.